Hi, I'm Kayla, the BookTube Turtle, and today I'm doing my June 2022 wrap-up. So, is it almost August now? Yes. Do I care that this is super late? No. Listen, there's a lot been going on lately. My business has kind of been taking off, which is really great, but that has meant like less time for other stuff. So YouTube's kind of been on the back burner. There's probably not going to be a whole lot of videos. Like I'll probably do 1 to 2 a month instead of like every single week like I was doing. But we'll see. Anyway, June, books I read in June. I read 5 books in June, which is like insane. I mean, 4 of them were rereads, but I still read 5 books, which is really great. July, on the other hand, I have not finished a single book. I'm in the middle of 2 books, but we'll get to that in the July video. Anyway, the first book I read this month was Katzenjammer by Francesca Zappia. This is an ARC copy that I won, which was very exciting, and I gave this book 4 stars. So it follows a girl named Kat who is trapped in her high school with her classmates, and weird things start happening. The students are like changing physically and like weird stuff. They're developing like, you know, different characteristics like claws, or like her in particular, this like mask formed over her face, and like it can't come off. So weird stuff like that, and like the school itself is almost like a living, breathing entity. And it like shifts and changes and stuff, and so the students are trying to figure out what is going on, how they can get out, because they can't seem to leave. And then people start turning up dead. And then the book also kind of goes back and forth between present day with them trapped in the school and Kat slowly starting to remember stuff from before they were trapped in the school, because at the beginning she doesn't have any memory of what happened before. So we kind of like go back and forth between present day and her life before leading up to now. So I really liked how it was told with that like back and forth structure. And I don't really read much like horror thriller genre, which is what this is, but I did enjoy it overall and it was well done. The reason why I didn't give it 5 stars is because I did feel like the ending was a little rushed, and I think it could have benefited from a little bit of expansion so that we could just have a clearer idea of what happened, and I just wanted a better explanation than what we got. The next book I read in June was the 3rd volume of Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. I gave this 5 stars, as with all the other books. This was a reread. All the rest of these are rereads. But I've been having a lot of fun rereading the series, especially after the show came out. And this, like, volume 3 starts, I'm assuming after, like, where season 1 cuts off, with, like, the Paris trip, which, like, I'm assuming we're getting in season 2. But, so yeah, that was really exciting, and I had a lot of fun reading that. The next book I read, which I lost count of how many times I've read this book, is Eliza Her Monsters, also by Francesca Zappia. All the stars to this book. This book is my favorite thing ever. Like, every book I've ever read, this one is number 1. I reread this book at least once a year, and, you know, it was just time. So I had a lot of fun reading it again. This is the first time I've tabbed the book with, like, my favorite scenes and quotes and stuff, which is really exciting because I've been wanting to do that for a while and I just never got around to it. So yeah, I don't know, do I need to explain what this book is about, I guess? I talk about this book all the time, but it's about this girl who creates this online web comic that has gotten, like, insanely popular, except nobody knows her real identity. So, like, you know, she's this popular webcomic creator, but at school she's just like this nobody. And she has so much anxiety, and she's just dealing with a lot. And this is a terrible, terrible description. I hate everything, but I love this book so much. I don't know. This book is really about, I'm kind of speeding through this video because I'm so tired, and Oof. This book is really about dealing with anxiety and depression and how that affects your life. And it also goes into what it's like to create this thing that means so much to you. And then like the pressure of like having that be shared with other people. So I just really love this book. I relate to it so much, and I have never read a more accurate description or depiction of anxiety and depression as this book, which is why I read it so often, because of how much it hits me every single time. The next book I read was Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. That might be the first time I didn't mess up that title. Because I always go to say it, and I say it too fast, and I get all tongue-tied. Anyway, I give this book 5 stars. I feel like I've also talked about this book numerous times. I don't know, though. It's really good. It's really fun to read. It's like an easy read, just in the fact that it's just kind of fun and fluffy. I mean, there's definitely some deep stuff happening as well, and more serious topics and stuff, but it's really fun to read overall, and I think I actually enjoyed it more reading it the second time. For some reason, I don't know. I also tabbed this book this time through, which was exciting. But I also, I got stressed so bad during a certain part of the book, even though I knew everything was going to be okay, but I was still just like, but I feel like maybe knowing that everything was going to be okay, like for sure, kind of made my experience more enjoyable, because I was less stressed, even though I was still a little stressed, which I don't know if that makes any sense. But the final book I read in June was Loveless by Alice Oseman. I read 2 Francesca Zeppia books and then 2 Alice Oseman books in June. I also tabbed this book. There's a lot of tabbing happening in June. Anyway, this is one of the only books in existence with an Aro Ace main character where the story is about like discovering and accepting yourself as Aro Ace, which is so important to have. And the book doesn't really match with my own experiences. There are like some similarities sprinkled in, but it's not super reflective of my own experiences. But just the fact that this type of book exists makes me so happy. And I also think I enjoyed this book more the second time around too. I think the first time I read it, I wanted it to be really reflective of my own experiences. I wanted it to be as relatable and to hit me as hard as Eliza and Her Monsters does. And it just didn't, because it's not as close to my own experiences. But I feel like this time I could appreciate it more for what it is, despite not relating to everything that happens. And we really need as many books as we can get with this kind of representation. And it honestly, I really want to write my own book someday that is more along the lines of my experiences. And this book made me realize that, and made me realize what I'm missing from this story that I want to have in my own, which is great. So yeah, those were the books I read in June. I don't really have any other updates. Like, I'm still working on my book. Things are happening. I'm just tired. That was my wrap-up video for June 2022. Let me know what your favorite book in June was. And if you like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.